do an intro and everything, and then we should be good to go. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the broadcast here. This is a Cast Me coming at you here for Dota 2, of course, and I'm looking forward to having some fun with this one. I am Breaking CPK, obviously, and for those that don't know what a Cast Me is, in case if you haven't heard about it before, whatever, if you type ! Cast Me in chat if you're watching on the stream, it actually will send you to a link. Also, if you click on the link below, if you're watching the YouTube video, you can get more information on it. But simply put, it's a service that I provide when it comes to casting select matches that you want to submit, and I'll do so. I'll get around to doing so. So this is one of those examples. You know, it's actually been pretty successful so far, and looking forward to many more to come. So if you are interested, check out those links. But for now, we got this match here in front of us. Should be a good one. And with that said, let's start going over the lineups now. Skipping through that old pause right there. No reason to sit through a pause if we don't have to. All right, so we'll start with the Radiant side, of course. Ezekiel Abaddon playing the Dazzle here. That's interesting stuff right there. Temped on the Drow Ranger, classic Drow Ranger, simple right-click hero that she is. Dumbass on the Spearbreaker, good old Dumbass. Spearbreaker's a fun hero, though, man. I've gotten the chance to play a bit of Spearbreaker myself lately, and the hero's just so strong and just running around the map. Anyways, Jemyon Coffee on the Zeus here with the no shirt. The no-shirt Zeus coming at you. He likes to flex those muscles, show off those little pecs and nips of his. And then we have Vivi on the Pudge. He's going to be playing that roaming support Pudge here, the early win lanes pickup. He's got a ward on him still to play, so we'll see how he does. But overall, that's the lineup for the Radiant side as far as the Dire side is concerned. Danny playing the Viper. Pretty simple stuff there. Viper offlane, actually. That should be interesting. We got an IO Tiny combination. Tiny being played by No Skill Incoming, RTZ style. Someone's an RTC fan style or fanboy, and then Roger for Fire on the IO, but classic Tiny IO combo. So that's going to be fun to see how that plays out. Phantom Lancer in the hands of No Name up here. He's a sibling of no one. No, just kidding. I don't believe he actually is. Penyu on the Crystal Maiden as the support. So those are the lineups that we have here. Again, this should be interesting though. We got a Zeus versus an IO Tiny here in the middle lane. Excuse me there, but this could be a. Zeus wanted to be careful about getting caught in a combo, at least a level 2 Tiny. Could definitely do some damage right here, but I think overall Zeus should actually be pretty okay. You know, can sit from a distance, use that Arc Lightning, and actually have the leveling advantage due to it being a 1 versus 2 right here. In fact, you see Io kind of, not sure what he was trying to do right there. He is working towards getting that earlier bottle as usually an Io would, but chose to get a little bit of regen early on, taking some damage, and he's going to tether on up and heal up Tiny as a result. But yeah, the middle lane's going to be fun to watch and keep an eye on throughout this game. Speaking of Spearbreaker, though, at the top lane, I love this hero and everything, but he is in a pretty tough spot here. They sent him in the offlane solo against a Crystal Maiden Phantom Lancer, and that's definitely a lot of harassment that can come from these two. And really not much Spearbreaker could do about it. He does have the Stout Shield earlier on, but choosing not to go the Poor Man Shield here. So he's going to be a little less tanky as a result of that, a little more susceptible middle lane. That's what I was kind of worried about, too. The burst damage of Zeus is real. He has a 1-1-1 build, and the Lightning Bolt finishes the job onto the Wisp right there. So well played by Jemyon Coffee on the Zeus, as now his levels are looking that much prettier. Already 3.5, where Tiny just hitting level 3 there. I guess that's kind of the positive. Tiny is able to get some solo experience meanwhile, as Tiny makes his way, or excuse me, as Io makes his way back, but not something you want to be, you know, excited about. What was that about? Okay, that was an Invis, interesting. Zeus, rather than picking it up, he decides to specialize. Let me just destroy it. He doesn't have his bottle yet, I guess, and he didn't want to, you know, take the chance of leaving it there. Where is the courier? Oh god, the courier's going bottom. Oh no. Couple of Wraith Band patterns. What the? That's going to go to Drow. Interesting. But that means the bottle for Zeus is going to be that much longer, so a little unfortunate. You got to be a little careful about using that courier earlier on in the game, especially before your mid gets this bottle on a hero like Zeus. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's not the happiest with that. But Drow, she wanted those Wraith Bands, damn it, and she's got them now. So it looks like she is doing pretty well down here. 7-2, bottom lane. Viper only 2-0. Isle's actually coming to the bottom lane, so I guess they want to try to get some solo experience here. Making some adjustments here, telling him to go away, the pesky IO that he is. So Zeus, though, will continue to have the advantage. And now, especially without IO being here, Tiny is very susceptible to taking a lot of pressure. And he's going to go and even use the Avalanche aggressively for some lasting. But, man, he's taking a lot of damage in return now. Again, this is where it's unfortunate that he doesn't have his bottle yet, as what was that about? That was Danny going down on the Viper down here. Got caught out between the Pudge and the Dazzle. Looks like the hook to finish him off and do him in. So, yeah, Viper. The offlane heroes on both sides. Definitely not the most routine and the easiest here. Is they both are susceptible to dying, definitely. Spearbreaker a little bit less. You know, he does have that charge to be able to get out of there if need be, where Viper just kind of is relying on the corrosive skin to survive. In fact, he's going to be in a lot of trouble right here. They have so much slow between these three heroes. The hook needs to be careful about hitting his teammate. He's trying to get the angle. He's being blocked by Dazzle, but he'll still land it. Danny, you got to react to that, man. You had a chance. I would have easily. No, it could be tough, obviously, but he was hoping that he wasn't going to get hit by the hook, maybe out of range. Not the case, and instead he goes down right there. So Viper 0-2 now to start. Meanwhile, the chase to the Arcane Rune going to be picked up by Tiny. That was close, though. If Spearbreaker actually kept on charging, that could have been interesting, but he was also low himself, and yeah, that could have been also pretty deadly. So choosing its best to stay back. Good job by Tiny, though, because that's a pretty crucial rune. Not only does that prevent an Arcane Rune given to the Zeus right there, but that means his bottle is going to sit on empty now for the next while. So, again, well played. Meanwhile, Wisp does have his own bottle right here as, Viper picked up the bounty rune, yeah. Well, that was miscommunication or what, or, you know, that's pub play. That's the life of an IO in a pub. When you got that bottle, you're going over to bottle up, and somebody else picks it up in front of you. You're just like, really? You're killing me, Smalls. If you have an IO in your team, if you have somebody with a bottle on your team in general that's going towards a bounty rune, ideally best to try to let them have it. Just saying. Man, we have a massive stack right here, meanwhile. Let's see what... now, Phantom Lance isn't the greatest for doing that, so I'm not exactly sure what the plan is. Maybe have Tiny go over there eventually and pick it up. I'm looking at the other jungle camps, and doesn't seem like any other stacking necessarily going on, but... Oh, I forgot to advertise this on Twitter. So I'm going to do that real quickly. Hopefully not miss much action here. Doing a cast me and then playing some come hang out.
Close, but not quite.
Boom. Tweet has been sent. Oh, more people to watch this game. All right, so we're almost 6 minutes into the game right here. It's 3-0 start for the Radiant side, obviously. And taking a look at the net worth now. We got Zeus is leading the way, not surprising. But Phantom Lancer is actually having a very good time at the top lane. Again, not that that's surprising, but worth keeping in mind here. He's got the power treads, and he's actually queued up to pick up a poor man shield. Not exactly sure if that's 100% what he needs right here. It's not like he's in a spot in that top lane where the Stout Shield, frankly, was even needed in the first place. And maybe they expected some kind of trial lane, which could have been possible, actually, from this Radiant side. But Spearbreaker actually going to be rooted up here, and another Spear Lance could do a job, but the charge goes off in time, and he is going to be able to avoid death, at least for now. Zeus, though, can he avoid death? Looking to try to avoid a toss position right here. He will get tossed in, but we're not done just yet. Dumbass running in on the Spearbreaker. He's not level 6, so no Nether Strike. But the ultimate coming out from Zeus gets a kill on IO, and now they're going for the kill on a Tiny. Yes, the final auto attack to finish the job. Everybody was so low, but in the end, Zeus and Spearbreaker come out on top at 2-0 in their favor. Man, that Thunder God's Wrath, and barely enough mana for Zeus to use all that he did right there to finish the job, and that is absolutely huge because now he has Arcane Boots to pick up. They also use the Shrine together. Very well played. In fact, going to wrap around to the top Shrine up here and maybe even use that while picking up his Arcane Boots to top it all off. But, yeah, this Radiant side in a very, very good spot to start. 5-0 lead. Drow Ranger on top of it all is doing fantastic. The Power Treads and that double Wraith Band has been completed here. Isn't level 6 just yet, though, so no marksmanship, but that's a level 3 precision aura. That is kind of the thing about this lineup. They aren't necessarily the greatest synergy in terms of having the Drow. In fact, it's only one of the range, and it's the Dazzle, so it's not even really benefiting that much. So, what am I saying? There's a Zeus, but now when it comes to Zeus, though, he's a range caster, not really an auto attacker. At the same time, Crystal made a top lane. Oh, the Fairy Fire at the last second, going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but the Arc Lightning finishes the job. The Doppelganger in, though, from Phantom Lancer, trying to get the turn kill on his Zeus. This could be big. IO, he comes in with that tether as well. No orbs being used, though, and thus Zeus is going to live, actually. The orbs finally coming out, but they come out really late. Now Dazzle's here to save the day as he throws out a heal, and he also has the Shallow Grave just in case. But, yeah, Wisp If he used those ores from the beginning and they connected onto Zeus, that probably could have finished the job. We're probably not even done just yet, though, as Tiny now runs in. Looking to make a play right here. He does have a toss ready, but Douse is doing a great job of juking, actually. Oh, he's barely going to get caught, though, by the Avalanche. And he will be finished off in the end. So finally, a kill coming out for the Dire side. Although now Pudge running in and looking to make a turn happen himself. He has the hook. Oh, my God, that's embarrassing. The creep tanks his own hook. And then he's kind of just running on in. I don't know what the plan was there. He ends up going down. That was one of those anger run-ins. And Spear Breaker's also going to fall. What is going on the Radiant side? They just like they felt like, you know what, we're getting too far ahead. Let's go ahead and give your Tiny 3 freaking kills and make this game a little more even. I have no clue what the plan was there, but that seemed a little silly from the Radiant side. I mean, it started with that hook attempt from Pudge. They hit the creep, and it's like, why even go in after that? And then Spear Breaker, and now Pudge again! Oh, wow, that was a swing and a miss if I ever saw one. He whiffs right there completely. He goes down. Io's barely going to survive again, unless another Blast Lightning goes off. Lightning Bolt, that is, but it's not in range. He will hit the Lightning Bolt on a Tiny right there, but it's just not going to be nearly enough damage, and he will have to fall back. Even Viper coming in with a Viper Strike ready to go, so finally we'll finish that exchange up there. But Tiny, all of a sudden, man, he has 1330 gold saved up. He's got the Blink Dagger on the way. He went the Magic Stick into the Power Charge. Magic Stick, a great item to have, obviously, against the Zeus here especially, so that's already done work for him, I'm sure. But yeah, this is a Tiny that wasn't necessarily having the best start, but after what just happened right there, he's all of a sudden looking pretty good. He's now 3-1-1, and again, the Blink Dagger looking to be a decent timing now. That could change right here. Hook. Okay, he's not going to go for, I was going to say, he probably want to wait for the hook if anything, and he does a good job just running up instead. The Spear Breaker charge was coming out, and Tiny got a little too overconfident. So that's a streak stopper as well, and VV will feel the benefit of that, and nearly 300 bonus gold coming out for the Pudge right there. So nice for him. And now he's going to wrap around towards the top lane, actually. Maybe go for the Bounty Rune, which is not there, but going to perhaps see the Phantom Lancer. He definitely does see him. Spirit Lance comes out, though, so Phantom Lancer going on to him first now. And with so many Phantom Lancers, it's kind of difficult to go for the right one. That's what makes this hero somewhat annoying to play against, that Doppelganger and the Juxtapose coming into play. And actually gets a kill on to Pudge. So Pudge is making a point that he's not afraid to kind of just run on into fights here. So that's now his 3rd death of the game. But not afraid to play extra aggressive. He does buy a tome, actually. He's trying to get that level 6, and there we go. He'll be able to level up the Dismember as a result of that. Tiny, though, a little bit more delayed now with that Blink Dagger pickup. Down about 1,200 gold saved up as bottom lane Viper could be some trouble. Lands a hook. Yo! Wow, I thought that was actually going to hit. It does not. Meanwhile, Isle ports in with the Tiny, and now Drow's the one in a lot of trouble. Temped. Can he somehow make his way out of this? Viper did not come back in, but it will not matter. Drow just not nearly tanky enough to survive through a big combo like that. And he easily goes down. So that was good timing, too, because right after the kill, they port back to the middle lane, and they relocate even back to the middle lane. And good to go. The Wisp, by the way, already with the urn on top of the bottle here. So Wisp actually is doing a pretty good job himself. Pretty much got his core taken care of. No boots. You'll see that a lot with the Wisp, at least earlier on in the game.
Fresh meat.
Bottom lane, I hear the fresh meat coming out. That's Danny. Viper Strike goes out as well in return, but it's not going to be enough for the turn. And he does go down, trying to tank up with that corrosive skin, which he does have not maxed out, but he is leveling up here, level 3 currently. Still not enough, though, to survive. That is going to be really good against heroes like Zeus. But, you know, Drow and the Spear Breaker even are more of that physical side, so I guess not as concerned. Although the attack still is annoying. Meanwhile, they find Spear Breaker. This Tiny's going off here. That's a free kill on the hook, obviously not doing much. Relocate good to go in about 15 seconds. Has some urn charges, too. A little surprised he's not using one of those yet just to heal up with the tether here. But they're going to keep hunting. Bounty Rune spawns, and No Name, meanwhile, picks off Temped at the top lane, but Zeus also going to be found in the jungle. Going for that Bounty Rune. Does he have his Thunder God's Wrath? He does, but he chooses, okay, he uses it at the last second. It was only level 1, however, so Doesn't get any kills. The hook does land on a Viper, though, and Roger for life, though, with the tether up on a Tiny. Here comes the Spearbreaker charge in, trying to finish the job onto Io, but it's just not nearly enough damage. Shallow Grave onto Vivi as Dazzle goes down. Allows him to get the kill onto the Viper. They also get the kill on Io, and then denying himself on a Pudge right there. But now we have RTZ style, no skill incoming on the Tiny, trying to get the turn kill on a Dumbass, but the Bash proc comes out with another strike to secure the kill and prevent any turn opportunity from the Tiny. So big clash there in the Radiant jungle. I mean, technically a complete wipeout actually from the Dire side when you include the Drow going down at the top lane, that is. So, Jesus, what a sequence of events that was. This dude's going to even do some counter warding, however, using that good old lightning bolt here.
Oh, that would be a tribute.
It's a nice power of Zeus. The idea of the lightning bolt can be used to see invis itself as well as counter warding. One of the more difficult heroes to effectively ward against, of course. Top lane, Tiny. Charge coming in. Drow got very low, but now some frost arrows being used. Level 2 only, but Io ports in with the relocate. Oh, 8 more seconds, though. It's not going to be nearly in time, but he does heal him up a little bit unless a hook lands right here. 3 seconds. No. Not going to be in range. There is a charge still going off, though. Yeah, we're still going in. Definitely. Dumbass charging in. The Avalanche connects at the last second. Gets a greater bash proc, though. And the toss onto the Pudge. Well played there by Tiny. Coming out. Had the vision due to the creep, but he's still trying to juke and jive. Dazzle going the wrong way initially. Can he somehow get out of this? Avalanche in 2 more seconds. They do see him at the last second, and Tiny is going to fall when it's all said and done. Hell of a job to stay alive right there. But he does go down. Now, Crystal Maiden. Uh-oh. He's running into a trap. That's your save your teammate syndrome right there. But that was even late. I mean, his teammate was already dead for a while. And he still insisted on kind of poking on in there, so.
My thanks.
Crystal Maiden gives them 1 more. Meanwhile, though, Phantom Lancer almost quietly doing his own thing. In fact, he just about has a full Diffusal Blade finished. He did end up going to that Poor Man Shield, too, which, again, I think it's a little silly. It wasn't necessary at all, and that's a laning phase tool, and it clearly wasn't needed for him. But it's not like it was the most massive investment either. As bottom lane, Danny goes down again. This Viper's having trouble. 0-5-2 in this game. He is definitely having a struggle here. Only 3,000 net worth. As Spearbreaker's coming towards the bottom lane. He actually has an armlet toggled up, so with that urn already finished, wants to enhance that damage a little bit more. You know, there's items like he could go more the defense route. Things like the Blade Mail could potentially be pretty strong. Not the most uncontrollable damage, though, so maybe it wouldn't be the best choice in this game. I'm trying to think of other choices. Hand of Midas, you know, we'll sometimes see that quite a bit on Spearbreaker to really enhance his farm. Could have been an option right here, but and the attack speed's always going to be nice. The hook on a Viper, meanwhile, use the Viper Strike on a Drow, only to get hooked in, though. The charge coming out, not even necessary, but it will go to Io as a result. The timing on the kill was perfect and allowed him to switch targets at the last second, and they get a double kill as a result right there. If he did not die before the charge came off, then I don't think Io dies right there, because it's the bash from the charge that really did in on Io and allowed for the double kill for Drow. And now the tower kill on top of that, so very well played by the Radiant side and the continual lead here. This is a very action-oriented game. It's definitely picked up here. 17-11. Wait, there's no blink on Tiny yet? Holy crap, I thought he would have had it by now. It's been in a stash, though. Jesus. All right, he finally has it now. Yeah, he had like 2,000 gold at that bottom exchange. I guess maybe he did die, didn't he? So that did delay it, but a couple of really key items. Diffusal Blade finish on Phantom Lancer. And you got the Blink Dagger, of course, picked up by Tiny right there. But the secondary tower goes down with really no defense put up by the Dire side. So well played there. Drow, meanwhile, looking to finish off a Maelstrom here, as the Mithril Hammer already purchased. So continuing to look pretty nice here. Dazzle. A medallion coming along. Great item to have on him. Aether Lens finished on Zeus to go with that Veil of Discord here. So the extra range coming out. He's actually going to be building a blink into bots here. So very mobile heavy build. Kind of continuing on. I like it. He got some nice damage enhancement tools earlier on here and some good old stats. Now going to work on that mobility. I was going to say, I feel like raindrops also could be pretty important to have, and he actually does have them. I didn't notice them initially, but you can see that he has those. Hannah Midas picked up by Viper, by the way, talking about that item. Crystal Maiden, he is going to be caught. Was that the ulti? Yeah, those Thunder God's Wrath coming out from the Zeus right there, but now here comes the relocate from Tiny and Io, and especially with Phantom Lancer nearby, that's an easy kill onto the Spirit Breaker. So well played. In 2 seconds, they're going to port right on back where they came from here at the bottom. So once again, another good gank set up by the Wisp and the Tiny, using that relocate very effectively. And it's almost like they're companions playing together before. Dragonlance on Drow, bulking him up a little bit. Is it enough to save him, though? It's going to be close. Has his power treads on agility currently, switches to strength. And it's not going to be enough, though. Good attempt. Oh, the port of him Dazzle, too. If he got the Shallow Grave off, that could have been absolutely huge. They get the turn kill on Io, though. But now Dazzle, yes, Shallow Graves himself, and that's going to finish the job on a Tiny and keep Dazzle alive in the long run. So somewhat of a last laugh coming out from the Drow there and the team of the Radiant, as it is a 1-for-2 exchange. Killing the Tiny especially, but Drow being slowing down. Was able to finish the Maelstrom, though. So you know what? Really, that wasn't that big of a deal. At least able to get that. So from the glass half-full perspective. Viper, though, yeah, going the hand of Midas right here. I mean, honestly, I kind of like it because of the game, if anything, where it's one of those, I just need this item to really help me recover, because right now he's just doing horrific. At the same time, maybe a Dragonlance would have been nice to have to really bulk up earlier on, and yes, maybe not as fast farm potential, but he is going to continue to be really squishy, and this is a very catch-heavy team. So he does have an IO teammate to help a little bit, but Isle's, of course, focusing more on the Tiny than anything. So yeah, it's kind of give and take. I don't think it's a wrong decision, but it does have its negatives as well. Drow Ranger, meanwhile, Doppelganger going out. He lost all his mana, and he's just gonna die right here. Yeah, there's nothing that Drow can do. Drow is not a good hero against a Phantom Lancer, as we see right there. And also Pudge getting picked up way up here. Wow, I didn't realize he's up there. Was that a relocate? It was. Coming out from the IO and the Tiny. IO actually goes back himself as the tether wore off, but not a big deal. The job done. But yeah, Drow is definitely weak against a Phantom Lancer. It's going to be a difficult game for her in that sense. Although the Maelstrom ideally helps with that a little bit, but Phantom Lancer is going to have a full Yasha finish shortly. And continues to be up there, really tied with the Zeus as far as top net worth goes. Zeus did finish the bots here, and still has that blink queued up. By the way, Zeus choosing to go the 7 armor over the magic resistance, and kind of looking at the lineup on the other side. I think that's definitely the better choice. I mean, magic resistance, yes, in this earlier to mid-game is definitely strong against the Tiny, but as the game picks up, you're going to be a lot more worried about physical, of course. You know, especially the Phantom Lancer and the Viper, you got to figure it's probably going to recover at least somewhat. So, and then even Tiny himself feels more physical, arguably, than magical as the game gets late, especially with things like an Axe picked up eventually. But meanwhile, they get the kill on a Crystal Maiden. Nice find there. Aether Lens pick up on a Pudge. So some nice extra range for that hook. Interesting. Phantom Lancer has a full heart queued up next. I don't know if that's necessary at this point. He's doing a couple of things that are just like, from the Poorman Shield earlier to, but that was like, okay, well, that's 300 more gold. Whatever. This is what, like 5,100 gold or something like that? 5,200 gold? I mean, it's quite the investment right there. It's going to take a while, and I don't know if he can really wait for such an item. Wait, what is this up here? 18%. I just noticed that. So they changed the network. That's kind of interesting. Anyways, Zeus going to be jumped here as Shallow Grave, very early Shallow Grave. That you can't blame, and obviously when he gets jumped like that, you almost expect more follow-ups going to happen. But at that point, that was simply Tiny kind of just feeling it out. Shallow Grave is level 3, so should be back up here very shortly if the fight breaks out again. Pudge trying to find somebody. You know what? He just did. Viper Strike comes out, but he dismembers right in the face. Here comes some support, but on the other side as well for the Dire. In fact, there's a relocate in, but the Nether Strike avoids the Tiny. Initially, they get the kill on a Viper. No, they don't just yet. The Crystal's keeping him alive. Finally goes down, but it's going to come at a cost, a 1-for-2. However, in the backline, Zeus has actually gone on by Phantom Lancer, and all that mana just disappears. This Phantom Lance is going to be huge for several reasons. One of them right there. We talked about earlier how he's so good against the Drow. He's huge against the Zeus, especially with a Diffusal Blade. Once he's on the Zeus, there's nothing Zeus can do. He's 100% reliant on his teammates to save him, basically. So, big fight for the Dire, and looking better and better. It's only a 9% net worth lead now, so it's kind of an interesting way to look at it. But just under 4,000 net worth lead in favor of the Radiant side, and then you got about close to 1,000 experience lead for the Dire now. In fact, hook on a Phantom Lancer, but that's one of those awkward hooks right there where it's like, I don't know if that's going to help or hurt me. So easy middle tower kill. That's the first tower kill of the game, 23.5 minutes. So pretty late early tower kill, but again, the perspective you can also look for that for the Dire side is that they have a lot of gold now to make up. Echo Saber finished on Tiny, and now he has the axe queued up, so he's going very traditional, somewhat old school here. Especially with the Tiny IO combination, the idea that he can just backdoor towers like crazy. Or rat or split push, whatever you want to call it. As well as just hitting freaking hard in general. So, but yeah, going back to the Phantom Lancer, choosing to get the heart right here. I mean, at least finishing the Manta style. Manta style would remove things like the slow from the Dazzle as well as the Drow for that matter. I mean, I guess Manta style doesn't really purge a whole lot with that said, so the more I'm looking at it, maybe it's not that necessary. But, and the heart is good. You know, I was thinking about something like a Butterfly too, but heart is probably better in the sense that a lot of the damage is going to be coming from Zeus, and Butterfly wouldn't really evade that damage, of course. So, yeah, I guess overall I am growing on it. And he does have 3,000 gold saved up now, so you know what? It was going to be a case of he's investing into a big item fairly earlier on, but at this rate, he's going to have it in the next 5 minutes or so, and that's going to be a pretty good time in heart to go with the Diffusal and the Yasha on top of that. So, and then once he has the heart, good luck killing him. There's the blink pickup on Zeus. Yeah, he's man, 4 staffs actually would potentially be pretty good in this game, but they're going to catch Spirit Breaker, by the way. He is able to charge out initially, goes right through the Viper, though. Well played by the Spirit Breaker. Somehow survives, but now Drow's gone. And look at that mana just disappear from the Phantom Lancer. Drow Ranger, though, gets saved by the Shallow Grave. However, in the backlines, they do lose the Dazzle, and Drow will be finished off in the end. Zeus now, he's being caught. An Avalanche jump on him, and the Viper Strike applied as well. And no chance for him to get away. He's already having such a difficult time staying alive in these fights. He can't outrun away with Soul that much. The Crystal Maiden, the ultimate of the Freezing Field coming out, gets the kill onto the Pudge, and down goes the Spirit Breaker. They can't even kill a single target. A 5-for-0 in favor of the Dire side. That started with Spirit Breaker doing a great job of surviving, but the Radiant had no business taking that fight as they chose to. They could have easily retreated after the Spirit Breaker got jumped right there and kind of reset things, but they wanted to try to fight. They were miscommunicating big time, and it just fell apart in the end. So this Dire team now has a, I got to think, once this updates, it's going to be in their lead. There we go. About it, just over 1,000 net worth and almost 10,000 experience. Holy shnikes. Well, 18, 17, and 16, and then you got a 17 Zeus on the other side. So, yeah, they are just completely being out-leveled now as well. And the level 18's coming out, which obviously is pretty crucial. Level 20, the next big mark. Juxtapose level 3 now here for the Phantom Lancer. He does have the Reaver picked up. And so that heart is, what, about 1,200 gold away from being fully finished here. And it just doesn't seem like they can do anything against this Phantom Lancer either. As soon as he jumps any target, they don't have AoE clear. Yeah, this overall is a horrible team outside of Zeus. But Zeus, if he's a target that's gone, you know, he can't do anything to get away. So Pudge gets down here in the Dire jungle. The relocate out, God, the timing was perfect right there. This Wisp Tiny is actually playing very well. I'm honestly very impressed. I got to say, a lot of these Cast Me games, and you know, this isn't a slight other request. It's for fun in the end, of course, but I'm not going to sit here and say this is like a competitive tier match by any means, but they're playing surprisingly well. I got to give them props for sure. The Wisp and the Tiny this game, as far as the relocating in and out and getting kills left and right. So, but yeah, it goes back to earlier before that fight broke out at the Roshan pit. the idea of Force Staffs and the lacking of Force Staffs. Now, Drow does have a full Hurricane Pike finish, so I think that's a superb item pickup, and that's definitely the item that was needed. I think you could argue Zeus probably needed one. I don't even know if I like the Blink Dagger as much, because the Blink Dagger is more of the initiation, if anything, ensure mobility, but Force Staff is the reaction, if anything. If you get jumped by the Phantom Lancer, you have then a little bit of a getaway to help yourself survive, but choosing not to get that. Solar Crest on Dazzle is solo, but a Force Staff on him would be nice too. Spear Breaker is going to be going to Blade Mail next himself, which, again, I don't know if a Blade Mail was necessary this game. Almost would have rather seen him go, hell, even a Force Staff too, or something even like a Crimson Guard. Wouldn't be bad to have in this game. But that's my critique on said item pickups here. So a 10% net worth lead. That's interesting. So what does that exactly mean? That means basically they have 10% more net worth overall than the other side. Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it, actually. Huh. That is kind of, I do kind of like that, though. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in this new, I think they just added this in the 7.06D here. I'm just getting caught up in the new interface here, but interesting. Anyway, it's about a 4,000 net worth lead overall, and Crystal Maiden is like, well, I'm dead. Gets found there. IO Tiny poured in. Oh, that was a blink. Wow, very good blink for the Zeus. This is so much for the blink not being an escape tool. Well played. And that is 3 kills just like that in favor of the Radiant side. So all this praise for the Dire, and all of a sudden the Radiant, they win a big exchange there, a 3-for-0. You have the Aegis on a Drow. That's right, they got Roshan. Wow. I'm getting caught up talking about things. And that totally passed me, too. They got wiped at the Roshan pit 5-for-0, and they somehow still got the Roshan kill in the end. They snuck in there and did it, and Aegis on a Drow. So they're going to use that to push in the middle lane. Now, not everyone's here. Pudge is not here, and neither is the Zeus. Zeus doesn't have an ultimate either, so got to be a little careful about this push decision. Phantom Lancer's now back. I would get back. I mean, with Phantom Lancer up, you need to retreat. They're kind of starting to, but not really. Drow still hanging around. Dazzle even just charged on in. Here we go. Doppelganger comes out. Drow with the gust to silence on up, but it's really not going to do too much. Dazzle barely saved himself in the end with a Shallow Grave, but he's eventually going to fall. Dumbass goes down on the Spear Breaker as well, and now Drow going back in herself, but she gets rooted up by the freeze right there, Crystal Maiden. The Frostbite, and she goes down. The Aegis is popped as a result. They also lose Dazzle in the backlines. Now Temped throws another cuss out on a Tiny right there, but Phantom Lancer is just way too deadly to deal with. She goes down again, and that's the Aegis use. Yeah, they had the Aegis, so they felt confident, but it was silly to stick around that long. And now Pudge is also going to get picked off, and now you have the Zeus just hoping to survive. He does have a blink, and he actually has the Invis activated, so he'll be fine, but losing everyone else, and they didn't even get the tier 3. They only got it to barely half-life, if that. And you give another good chance for the Dire side to make another move and look to kill this Zeus. Uh-oh. Zeus working on the axe. I definitely like that idea there, but he is in a lot of trouble right now. And he's dead. Yeah, there's no way he's going to get out of this one. No teammates really nearby to help. He's just going to go for the TP. Frostbite hits, though, easy. And easy kill to follow. He did get level 20, so. Oh, that's actually interesting. Gets the half-second Lightning Bolt mini-stun talent. Nice. That over the arc lightning damage. How much does arc lightning do normally? 145, so yeah, 75 more is it's good. I mean, it's you got to figure out each target too. So, but anyways, wondering about that. Dazzle's wondering about how he's going to survive through this, and wonder no longer, Dazzle, because there was really no chance. He's dead for 50. Tower goes down. And they're going to full-on retreat. So the Dire side, they now have their biggest lead of the game, 17% more of a net worth lead. Nearly a 6,000 net worth lead, and again, that experience, it dipped down a little bit previously, but it's up to its most point now of about 13,000 or so in favor of them. So level 21 Phantom Lancer, what did he choose to get? Let's take a look at the talents he has. His heart, obviously. Working on that Yasha, or the Mantiston next. 50% evasion talent over the magic resist. I don't like that. I think the magic resist, because Zeus is their biggest threat right now when it comes to getting bursted down and dying, as Pudge is going to be found. So if you're Phantom Lancer, definitely think the Magic Resist would have been the better choice here. But, again, it's not like it's a horrible decision to go Evasion. We talked about Zeus, what he went. No one else level 20 just yet. Oh, no. There Tiny is. As meanwhile in the face, though, Zeus, again, Phantom Lancer jumps and it's like, what do I do? A shallow grave will at least keep him alive. A little bit longer, the toss, it does not finish the job. As Spirit Breaker will get caught, though. They just slowly trickle down when Phantom Lancer jumps people. It's just, it's almost sad to watch for the other side because, like, they're not dying that fast, but you just can't do anything against it. Phantom Lancer with all the illusion. So difficult to deal with. That avalanche whiffs right there. But yeah, at least Tiny surviving is big because he did not have a buyback. However, they're still going to lose a tier 3, and elsewhere, that was Drow getting picked off all the way in the middle lane trying to push. He gets picked up by Viper. The hook hits on a Phantom Lancer, actually. A beautiful hook land out by Fifi and gets the kill on him. Down goes Crystal Maiden, and all of a sudden it's just Io right here trying to run away. She's going to go down as well. And that is 4 kills. The buyback on a Drow definitely helping do work too. And they do survive as far as the base hold goes. They managed to kill the Phantom Lancer, which is pretty huge. And again, the Zeus nuking all that damage in there, and the static field kicking in as well. That's where the heart isn't as big of a deal, you could argue. And I gotta think, if he has the 15% magic damage talent there, I'm just saying, there's a chance he may survive.
Dazzle.
But chose not to. Going to be dead for the time being, but I don't know if the Radiant's going to be able to make too much out of this other than pushing out the lane somewhat. As everyone's going to be resurrecting here. The Axe is going to be finished on Zeus, though, so that that Nimbus Cloud going to be happening now. Actually going to port back to base to just get it himself. And there we go. So the Nimbus anywhere on the map. So good, man. So much more damage in these fights. BKB, by the way, being worked on by Drow. I think that's a very good choice, actually. Crowd control in general has just been so annoying to deal with, and that'll allow her to kite away effectively. So again, her offensive pressure isn't necessarily the greatest, but can't do offense when you're not surviving. So Viper, by the way, really haven't looked at him in a while, but he has a full Hurricane Pike to go with a Blade Mail pickup, actually. And now he has a Orchid into the eventual Bloodthorn queued up. So, yeah, Viper has definitely recovered as we kind of expected. In fact, he's up here with a Tiny and the rest of them. Tiny, of course, the Axe finish. His own BKB is just about finished as well. Ooh, that's scary, man. And now Phantom Lancer is going for that Butterfly here. I don't know. I think he's lacking damage. I think Basher into Abyssal Blade could be arguably the better choice here for Phantom Lancer. A little more lockdown, heavier lockdown to keep targets in place, especially now with BKB coming up on Drow.
Tower is under attack.
Butterfly will enhance his damage, though.
Is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A very tense game right now, however. The smoke comes out from the Dare side, trying to get somebody, and that somebody is going to be Drow. Oh, that's a 10-second BKB use. If he does not live through this especially, that's going to sting. 4 staffs away. Doppelganger in, though. Keeps chasing. It's still up, but finally BKB wears up. And now he's in the trees, but now Dazzle's going to get caught out. Gets the shallow creep off of, though, at the last second. The Nimbus is down on top of this. Crystal Maiden going to be stopped immediately. Gets healed up some way, somehow. The out keeping him alive. But Tiny goes down. That Nimbus doing so much damage. The Thundercloud's Wrath in the midst of it as well. And Io now on the run, but he is not going to get away. However, everyone ties over with Viper. And that Blade Mail doing so much return damage. Finally, Io goes down. The triple kill for Zeus. But Viper cleans up in the back lines. What looked like a complete cleanup for the Radiant side, all of a sudden ends up being a even 4-for-4. And there's a buyback on a Pudge, actually, but I don't know if Zeus is going to be able to catch up here. Puts another Nimbus down. Has that blink. He's going to be able to go in. It looks like he is. Blade Mail, nice Force Staff away. And Danny actually will survive. So, well played there in the end especially to stay alive. But, man, what a fight. That all started because Drow got caught in the middle lane, got her 10-second BKB off, and just started running. So the follow-up burst damage wasn't enough. And I guess you could argue I guess you could argue that the Radiant side maybe came in on top there. But no, that was really just even, if anything. Because both sides kind of cores did survive. Viper probably the scarier one as far as going to be scaling with that Bloodthorn now that much better. Zeus is working on a Octarine core here. But yeah, we did see that Nimbus too, especially if you are clumped up in it as the fight's happening. That with a Thunder God's Wrath. I mean, the dire side, all their life pools were just going down together. Yeah, Phantom Lancer's actually changed up his decision, so he's going to be going I have Scotty instead. Which I actually do like over the Butterfly a little bit more, because again, Evasion just really isn't going to provide much this game. And really just relying on the presence of stat build-up for the illusions, especially, which, again, makes sense for Phantom Lancer. But they are definitely relying a lot more on the Viper now to be that single target damage dealer. And he showed last fight, he definitely has potential to do quite a bit. You see the Glimmer Cape initiation there from Phantom Lancer. Trying to stop the Roshan and actually perhaps look to do it themselves now. Phantom Lancer not the greatest at soloing Roshan, so he's going to decide it's best to fall back, and now the team really wants to overcommit into it to a Pudge in an awkward spot. He's just chilling. Chilling like, oh, they saw him. Yeah, Pinks come out. Uh-oh. They're going to spot him now. And all of a sudden, he's like, you're going with me. He puts the blade mail up, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, that was a very ambitious spot right there by the Pudge. Ends up biting him in, excuse me there, ends up biting him in the ass. Now they had a burp come up.
That would be a tribute.
Now they're going back into the Roshan pit, so this time they got a little bit more firepower to do it. Nimbus goes down. That's a great tool to have against a Roshan attempt. They do kill it off eventually. BKB goes up, but already a half-life. It's a Tiny. Needs to be careful about that. Spear Breaker charging in, goes right for the Viper. In the back lines, that golden Tiny, though, is so dangerous looking. Goes right after the Drow. Out comes a Shallow Grave to survive for the time being, but they will lose the Dazzle. Of course, playing that Sacrificial Lamb of sorts, keeping Temped alive, but that's what matters. He's going to try to get himself killed? No, Force Staff over the ledge. Well timed right there. The Doppelganger does not connect, but here comes, oh, nice guts at the last second, but he did not get off in time, actually, as the avalanche happened, and Dusty goes down. Another strike onto the Tiny. Wants to finish the job. Can Io maybe save the day? No, we cannot. Tether was not up, ready to go. Buyback on a Dazzle, actually, as he's coming back in. Zeus trying to hold his ground, but now he's going to be out of mana as Phantom Lancer goes on him. He'll stay dead, and so will Spear Breaker for the time being. There's a buyback, though, on a Zeus actually coming out, and on a Spear Breaker, so they still want to fight this. Punch port's in. A beautiful hook landed on a Crystal Man, gets the kill, and now Danny and the Io have to be very careful about this. Nimbus, well-positioned, cuts them off, goes with the Force Staff away. Viper Strike, no, it's not actually up just yet. Blade Mail will be popped late, and he will go down. Io, meanwhile, relocates out, but he's coming right back, baby. In a couple of seconds, he's going to go for the TP trick. That was way too late. Yeah, he's going to get caught. He does end up falling. Buyback galore. Wow. Drow, Zeus, and Spear Breaker all buyback right there. But you know what? They got the kills. They got the kills as a result of it. And look at what's happening at the top lane, by the way. This is the Drow presence right here. Yeah, using her precision aura and actually allowing the creeps to get the push that they were right there. So the Drow's presence definitely being felt despite herself not doing a lot. And they also get the kill to Phantom Lancer. He does have a buyback, but they're going to lose the top to the right. This is unbelievable, just how this just turned all of a sudden. This is a huge net worth lead right now, 20% net worth lead or so in favor of the dire side, yet the Radiant is the one pushing the base. They're going to get 1-2 sets of racks. Are you freaking kidding me? God, Drow's precision aura must have been doing so much work this game. That's, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even realize how much was done. I haven't been realizing that much this game until now, but They lose 2 set of racks just like that. Buyback on a Phantom Lancer finally happens. Dismember to lock it down on the Tiny. And keeping Dazzle alive is now Drow. Nice force staff over the ledge. Crystal Maiden, he's going to get caught out. The Nether Strike will finish the job. Doppelganger forward. Phantom Lancer wants to take out the Spear Breaker. He has to take out the Nimbus first. He finally gets a kill, but that damage from the Nimbus as well as Zeus himself doing plenty. And this would be a dieback onto the Phantom Lancer. He needs to be careful about this. Buyback, by the way, on a Tiny now coming out. They do get the kill on the Spear Breaker, and he's staying there for a good 80-plus seconds. Temped again. Nice job, force staff over the ledge with the BKB up, and he'll survive for the time being. Tiny, though, does have a blink. Yep, he's going to find the Dazzle, and that will be a free kill. Viper also finds the Drow. The Viper Sting comes out, and down goes the Drow. Down goes Budge in the middle lane as well, and in the blink of an eye, it feels like everyone's dead on the Radiant side other than Zeus. We got back to base, but you know what? The job was done. The top and the middle set of racks going down in favor of the Radiant. Huge for them, and we are having some level 25 hits, so let's take a glance at that, as then we have some downtime. 200 cast range on a Zeus. God, that with the Aether Lens, that's 420. Blaze it. Cast range assisted to his abilities. I don't know, it doesn't actually say the cast range on them, I guess, but okay, that's what I can kind of see right there. So, God, yeah, that's insane. And look at this cast range. Yeah, no, that's global. But yeah, Nimbus goes down for counter push, so they do have pretty strong counter push with the Zeus, but the Nimbus dies very quickly. As you see, they focus it, so good job right there. Yeah, no buybacks across the board, so it's going to be up to Zeus to hold off as much as he can now. So this is at least going to be 1 set of racks. Zeus just needs to be careful not to die. If he dies, then that could be game even. So yeah, to stay alive, they are going to lose another set. So actually, they're going to even this up here. Is the dire side. Good decision to just fight right back into their base and even up the game just like that. Even the same lanes on top of that, they get the racks killed. So it's the bottom lane for both teams that have the racks up. The tier 3 is still up as well. The tier 1 is still up for the Radiant side. Jesus. A tier 1 tower at 46 minutes in with 2 sets of racks down in their favor on the dire side is still up to take out. Like, that's insane to me. But they just happen to have not gone for it yet. Oh, and they see Roshan's up, so this is interesting now. Yeah, they're like, we kind of want to do it, but not really. Spearbreaker just goes right on through. He's like, I don't even care about you guys. I'm going right for the Crystal Maiden. He wants a free kill. Nice job with the blink. Glimmer Cape, and he's going to survive. And now Spearbreaker's like, crap, I should not have done this. Good bait coming out for the Crystal. I guess, no vision. Are you kidding me? Okay, they got it. And they do get the kill, so well played there. Wait, okay, there's. I was like, how did they have the vision? Jesus. Oh, they're killing Roshan in the meantime, and they're gonna get it. Wow, they're gonna ninja this. Yeah, they have no clue this is happening right now, but now they definitely do. There goes the Aegis pick up. Cheese was also picked up at the Drow. So they're down Spearbreaker.
Oh, that would be a tribute.
But this Drow now has his second life, and he gives the cheese off to Pudge, it looks like. Has his own Blade Mill now himself. Again, Drow Ranger's not the scariest with his damage output, but it's that precision aura and that between the marksmanship as well. But the precision aura especially, it just allowing for so much of this push, and you constantly see their creep waves in favor because of it. Shrines are being taken out now. In fact, yeah, a little surprised that the Dire Shrines are still up on our side for how long they've been down the towers especially, let alone the racks.
Regeneration. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
Bloodthorn on
tower
Viper has been finished for a little bit. He has another 3,000 gold saved up. I think his own BKB could actually be pretty good.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The Zeus is definitely doing a lot of work, though. This is one of those games where I really wish we had the damage charts during the game, but by the end of this game, I'm sure Zeus, not that it's that surprising, but he's going to have the most damage done. I mean, he's doing so much. In fact, they're going for the back door on the racks right here. You see Phantom Lancer and Crystal Maiden going to port in, though, and try to prevent that. And Zeus gets out, though, and so do the rest of them. So good job distracting there. by the Radiant side. Now, Dire does a good job of killing a couple set of racks, or a set of towers, that is. Io, oof. He's dead. Relocated out initially and comes back in. He actually has a Rod of Atos himself. Sorry, guys. I notice I'm lagging here, but I got my my Dropbox actually is some files are being uploaded. So let me just mute or deactivate that for now. There you go. Pause it. All right. Back to the game, though. Crystal Maiden even working on her own BKB, trying to get a good freezing field channel off. There is the Octarine core now finished by Zeus. A huge item pickup for him. Quota reduction in itself is great, but the lifesteal is huge as well. Okay, level 25, so we didn't really go over that too much yet. So, what is this about, by the way? They catch Crystal Maiden. Tiny's running in. Is he going to go in? Oh, the Nimbus comes out, and that kind of deactivates the Blink Dagger, so he is going to keep running with the haste rune, luckily, so he'll be fine. Viper, though, level 25, 20 armor. That over the Viper Strike DPS. Interesting. 20 armor, Jesus. Again, I don't know if I like it. It's the same thing with the Evasion earlier. Like, this is not a team that's dealing a lot of physical damage. Like, most of their damage, it really is coming from the Zeus, who is all magical. Now, it's not like he had a magic resistance talent to choose from in this case, but 80 Viper Strike DPS is quite a bit. Lancer caught down here. He is so tanky, but is he tanky enough? Zeus comes in, Blast Lightning comes out. The Lightning Bolt even, the Nimbus goes down. Io trying to save the day. Will keep him alive at the time he uses the mech heal as well. The Grinding Grease even, but Tiny putting the auto attacks against the Pudge, but Tiny's going to go down actually. Pudge, he's a little too tanky himself. Viper trying to finish him off, but can't get close enough. Then Tiny's dead for 110 seconds, by the way. Oh no, that's huge. So a dieback for him. Yeah, he still doesn't have a buyback for another minute, 10 seconds or so. As Pudge is just hoping to land a random hook, but the creep wave is now here. All 5 are up for the Radiant side. Crystal Maiden going to be resurrecting right here. They're going to lose the range, though. And the melee, the only racks keeping the mega creeps up and prevented for the time being. Viper, he's getting away with the Forest Staff. Doppelganger in front of the Phantom Lancer going right for the Drow. Once again, Drow just melts away. But again, he had the Aegis. Crystal Maiden, the freezing field, helps to finish off the Spear Breaker. With Drow Ranger's going to come back up now. Forest Staff right over the cliff right there. Zeus gets got by the Rod of Atos, it looks like. Able to blink away in time, however, but Drow, not the same story. Probably going to get caught out right here. Zeus is like, screw it, let's try to fight this. Nimbus goes out. Drow will eventually fall, though, and now Danny on the Viper finds the Zeus and looking to run him down. He has his Viper Strike, but he can't get it off, actually. He needs to be able to get that off. He's not even using it, actually, but you know what? It won't matter. They do kill the Zeus, and he is dead for 120 seconds. What is going on? Who was the buyback, by the way? Was it Drow? Drow did just buy back as well. So, yeah, they do get the mega creeps to finish it off, but they lose Zeus now for 100-plus seconds. Tiny's going to be up in 30. If you're this Dire side, Tiny's up. You just go. You have to just go. Maybe leave. I don't know who you leave on defense. I guess Crystal Maiden would have to defend, and she can even use a freezing field if need be. Yeah, you just got to go if you're the Dire side right here, because Zeus being dead is your one opening that you have at this point of the game. They have 80 seconds. They're going to have about 70 seconds or so, just over a minute, when when Tiny comes back up.
I am concealed.
So here we go. Dire side trying to finish the game right here in their favor. Will they go for the finish or go for the mega creeps themselves? That's a question. Doppelganger used so as Pudge delaying them. Plants a hook initially. They're going right towards middle, it looks like. So I think that's a little bit of a... I really feel like they should be going for the mega creeps. They almost seem confused at what they're doing. Okay, they are going to go for the tier 3 down here now. Yeah, they are not really on the same page. They seem a little lost as far as what they want to do. They're playing it so scared. What? No! Why? I mean, Drow's here. She just BKBs, though, and ports out. And the relocate, he's only going to be able to bring one target with him. He needs to bring the Phantom Lancer. Are they going back in? No. He just goes in by himself. Oh, Dire's side just falls apart there. They got distracted way too much. Now Viper's going at it with the Spear Breaker. Should be able to kill him, maybe. Oh, the Shallow Grave saves the day. And that's going to keep Spear Breaker alive. This Dazzle's been making some clutch Shallow Grave plays. Keeping teammates alive. Well played by him. The hook going to be dodged by Danny. at least, and Viper will survive too, but I really feel like the dire side missed out on a huge opportunity there. I mean, you got to give credit to Drow with that said for distracting them and kind of almost forcing them to fall back as they felt, but they seemed lost. They wasted a good 15 to 20 seconds in this area trying to decide on what to do. And now Zeus is back up. Buyback situation. Drow's the only one on a timer here at about 5 minutes plus. So that's still an opening for the dire side, but obviously they're dealing with holding off against mega creeps. And that is not an easy task, to say the least. Level 25 Tiny, he does have a Moon Shard in his inventory currently. With the 200 avalanche damage. Interesting. Over the 20% cooldown reduction. Huh. I mean, CDR is just, in my opinion, CDR is usually going to be one of the best talents you could have no matter what. Simply because it works on items, too. Now, I'm looking at its items, and, I mean, yeah, it's still going to be pretty good. It'd make the blink, what, like 20%, so be like 2.5 seconds, I want to say, around there, plus cooldown, so about 9.5 second cooldown, and it'd make the BKB, what, trying to do quick math off the top of my head right here, but it'd make the BKB about, oh, that's Crystal Maiden. Wait, what?
Invisibility.
65 for him. Anyways, the point is it would make it less, and so being able to activate said items that much quicker. So I don't know. It's hard to say, kind of, but. Like, the avalanche damage is definitely going to give them more chance of just that quicker burst kill on heroes like the Zeus, but... How about Pudge, by the way? He has 16 Flesh Heap charges. Actually, not as much as I would have figured, honestly. I would have figured he'd have even more than that. I mean, they have 44 team kills right here, but...
Oh, that would be a tribute.
Phantom Lancer, 2,200 gold saved up. Obviously, people have to really be trying to farm their buybacks right now, and currently several heroes do not have them. Phantom Lancer just about has his. Zeus almost has his as well. Viper is about 1,300 gold away, so hopefully for his sake, a fight doesn't break out here very soon. Like I said from the beginning, this could potentially be a longer game here. Definitely turning out to be. Zeus has been working on a refresher as well for the double Thunder God's Wrath. He can sit in the well and spam Thunder God's Wrath now. But you just imagine that coming out in the midst of these fights. And again, that kind of goes back to the idea of things like the heart pick up on Phantom Lancer, how, yes, ideally that's going to be better against a lot of magic damage that happens from the other side, but Zeus is one of these where he's not really worried too much about your bulk or your health pool because of static field. And how it works right here. So they're going to go for a Roshan, and that's going to be an easy Roshan kill again. Zeus is really good for doing Roshan, isn't he? Now with the Drow Ranger, Zeus actually picks up the Aegis and the cheese here. I kind of like that over the Drow. Because, yeah, Zeus is really, he continues to be their just big magic, their damage dealer in general. In these fights here. Going back to the Phantom Lancer, I think you can honestly almost say that, in hindsight here, that the BKB probably would have been better than the Heart here. Because that would flat out make him immune to that damage at least. Where the Heart isn't necessarily doing that great as far as bulking you up. Again, because of the static link, so. Or static field even. Keep calling it Blast Lightning as W. That's definitely another hero in another game. Anyways, Lightning Bolt. So pushing in the lanes, again with that Drow, especially in her aura. The precision aura currently hasn't activated yet, but wouldn't be surprised if she does that soon. To really help with this push. There we go. Spirit Breaker, very ambitious dive on his part. He pops a Blade Mail, another strike in. Nope, going to stop actually. Going for it again. Yes, he will secure this one. Tiny on him, but Spirit Breaker, that was quite the dive right there. He's just playing a distraction though. They kill the tier 4 tower off. BKB, no, maybe. Okay, he gets it off finally. But Temped taking a lot of return damage with that physical, that big bashes from the Tiny coming out. Meanwhile, back here, Dismember used onto the Phantom Lancer, but that's just going to delay the inevitable as Pudge goes down. So they lose 3. Zeus does survive though, as well as a Drow. Those are definitely the key targets. So they're pushing the lanes. But it is going to be held once again, it looks like. But at least they got the tier 4s now. Really, all of the base is basically destroyed other than the Ancient, which, of course, is the important tower here.
Regeneration.
So ideally reset here and do it all again, especially with that Aegis and Cheese still on Zeus. And the dire side, I mean, that window really is closing now. It's a lot easier said than done, but they have to find the opportunity here to just go for a death ball push of sorts. And it is tough because they can't really just go into the base, one because of the counter push, especially with the aura being spanned by Drow, but and then also the Zeus on top of that, who's just so good for preventing Siege from coming out. Punch actually buys back very late there. Interesting decision on his part. Really don't think that was necessary because people were resurrecting soon, and I don't think that they were going to be pushing into the base just yet. But not the most crucial buyback either.
Oi!
Uh-oh, Chris Amanda going to be charged in right here. BKB's popped actually very early. Nimbus is down, but Zeus has jumped immediately by the Tiny. He goes down. The Aegis will be activated as a result. Can they finish the job after the fact? BKB wears off on the Tiny right here. Zeus actually going toe-to-toe with him. Definitely a fight that Tiny should win on paper, but the heals of Zeus are so freaking much for the Octarine Core. Another lightning bolt coming out, another toss in the air. Arc lightning, one more lightning bolt. No, it gets avalanche. So the lightning bolt misses right there, and Tiny actually escapes, both living life on the edge. They're also trying to secure the kill on a Phantom Lancer, though, and they will get that one at least. Wow, that was quite the exchange there between the two teams. The fact that both Tiny and Zeus ended up surviving is pretty crazy. Zeus goes for the kill with the Nimbus. Obviously just missing, though. But you do see the base. The Ancient is still full life. Seems like Viper and Io have basically been back and defending as much as they can. We're now an hour into this game. Uh-oh. That's a DC. Nope, that was very quick. Ah, there we go. Yes, it is a replay, in case that wasn't obvious. Oh, now I got a bug where all the fudges look real. Pretty sure that's an illusion. Or no, that's a real one, because the illusions are off to the side. Anyways, buyback on a Phantom Lancer. Yeah, I mean, you kind of had to right here. And they're actually going to retreat. They got the buyback. They're happy with that. He's now willing to have one for another 7+ minutes.
Dire's Ancient is under
And there's
attack.
the refresher picked up by Zeus now. So not only we've seen the damage that he can do in these fights, but also the heal. With that Octarine Core, I mean, he healed up like crazy there. He was down to about a third of his life, I want to say, and he went basically back to full. Between the Nimbus and the Thundergod's Wrath and the Lightning Blast. The Lightning Bolt even.
This'll come in handy.
So the effort continues, though, from this dire side.
Attack.
I'll take that.
I just don't know if there's an item that they necessarily are waiting for, or if they're just really hoping for some kind of pick-off. Daedalus being worked on by Tiny, so
Dire's
I guess
courier
that's definitely an
has
item
been
that's
killed.
could be pretty crucial. The Dire Courier goes down. Luckily, there's nothing on it. That'll be a little bit of a nuisance there. But also the other thing is Tiny's also sitting with the Moonshard in his inventory. He's probably going to eat it right here and then finish the Daedalus. I'll leave it there. Put the Daedalus in his inventory. I was kind of wondering what the deal was there. Ooh, interesting item pickups here. Silver Edge picked up by the Spear Breaker. That's actually pretty good this game in general. Things like the Viper armor, as well as Tiny's passive into the craggy exterior. As far as the break goes, you also had Pudge finishing his own heart. So that with the Flesh Heap charges, 5,600 life, no big deal. That's Pudge for you. Good old infinite scaling. Dazzle, Guardian Greaves have been picked up. Drow's trying to finish her own Butterfly now. Again, though, for being 63 minutes into this game, this really isn't the scariest Drow as far as offensive pressure goes, but is doing enough to, once again, ideally try to win the game. I mean, they're down by almost 20,000 net worth right now at this point of the game, but they're at the same time in the lead because they have Mega Creeps. They've had Mega Creeps for a while, and they still have their bottom racks up with the Tier 3 even to go. But it really is going to be one fight that could determine this game for either side. Vandal Lancer not having a buyback is pretty crucial right here. Forces him to play very defensive. Oh! That was a Tiny thinking that he had a real target there. Unfortunately, he did not. What is the level 25? Oh, yeah, we're going to have level 25 Io coming out. Oh, he gets hooked in. Maybe not. He's in trouble now. They get the Rod of Atos on to Pudge, but down goes Io. He does have a buyback, though. Tiny goes on. He ends up dying very quickly with that Nimbus. So much magic damage from the Zeus. He did not have a BKB right there, and that showed off. Vandal Lancer, he's sitting on top of the Dazzle. Going to kill the Dazzle, and he's having trouble with that. That goes to show you the lack of damage overall from the Vandal Lancer this game. That's been the critique of him. Tiny with the buyback, though, comes back and finishes off on a Drow, who does have a buyback, but Zeus does not. He died in the midst of it. He's dead for 80 seconds. Drow does buy back, though, pretty damn quickly. And now Dazzle's also going to be picked off. So buybacks on either side coming out, two, including the Io and the Tiny. From the Dire, and then, of course, he had the one from Drow, and now there's one from Dazzle. The Ancient getting a little bit of damage on it, but it is eventually going to be held off right here. But this is also interesting, too, with the level 25 Io, as I was mentioning, the tether stuns are now happening right here. So it's not, I mean, that's going to be kind of curious to see if that could possibly come into effective play. But yeah, I wasn't 100% sure what Zeus died to, but he just seemed like he exploded. It must have been Phantom Lancer killed him first, because I saw Phantom Lancer on Dazzle, but I think at that time Zeus was dead, so that would make the most sense there. And Zeus, it looks like he might have got one ulti off, but yeah, couldn't get a second one off, as he did pop his refresher. But by the time he's up and the fight's ready to go, should have two ultis here. Phantom Lancer dismembered. Nice Manta style, though, after the silence. And he'll be fine. And there's a full-on butterfly finish. So really, only people with a buyback are Viper and Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker telling his team to get back. And yeah, I think that's a correct call. Yeah, they don't need to really push it in and force it. They could, if anything, wait for another Roshan, which is going to be up shortly in about a minute here. And then get that Aegis to Zeus again. Zeus looks like he's, as his eye set, on a BKB here even. Which, yeah, that, if anything, to deal with the Phantom Lancer sitting on top of him. Slowing him down heavily. Crystal Maiden, a barrier, a Pipe of Insight picked up. Very late Pipe of Insight, but you know what? It's better late than never, especially against the Zeus. It's a nice effective HP coming out for the whole team. Roshan about 18 more seconds, so they're being patient. They really want this Roshan kill. Double damage rune on Drow Ranger as well. You figure that they maybe could have camped the double damage rune and waited for Roshan to respond until they picked it up, but figure they just wanted to pick it up just to be safe. But Roshan is up now. Unfortunately for them, they're not actually checking right now. It looks like Drow's heading in, though, and there we go. So they're going to go for it here, and I don't think the Dire side's stopping it. They have to just worry about defending their base, of course. on Viper. You see how fast he's attacking now. So I'm sure they're going to give this to Zeus, right? Yeah.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Puts the Saith Lens in
My
his
old friend
backpack.
immortality.
They got the cheese on Drow. Nice Invis rune also coming out. Probably give it a Spear Breaker, yeah.
Possibility.
He's going to pick it up there and allow him to maybe position a little bit more effectively. Punch has a Axe Scepter finished. So that hook, only 4-second cooldown now. Has the Flesh Heap stack talent as well, so that also helps us why he's so tanky. Dazzle's level 25, the 60 Shadow Wave heal. Not much stronger of a heal now. Spear Breaker not there just yet, but close. A 17% greater bash chance, I'm sure it would be fun. Talked about Pudge, talked about Viper, Tiny, talked about him. IO, talked about him. 20 strength on Phantom Lancer, I don't know if we mentioned that, but it's pretty expected there. And then 300 Crystal Nova damage for the Crystal Maiden here. Even more counter push. And yeah, I like that, especially with where the game's at. You need that counter push. One of the illusions in. So they're trying to go for the final push right here. Again, Aegis onto the Zeus. The refresher, double ulti ready to go. Pudge just throwing in some hooks with that axe. Why not? See if he can land something. Yep, going for another. That's just another illusion, though. You just dismembered that. It's better to be safe than sorry. Wow, Crystal Maiden goes in very aggressively. The freezing field goes up. Oh, that was awkward. The Nether Strike in actually got pulled back immediately. But it's going to end up saving the Spear Breaker, so I think that kind of works out in the end. Another retreating, but here we go. The BKB pump jumps onto the Dazzle. That was Dazzle survives for now. Actually got pushed over the ledge with a force stab. It looks like Crystal Maiden gets picked off. The Shallow Grave to help save Dumbass right there on the Spear Breaker in the middle of it. Phantom Lancer is going for Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger tanky somewhat though, but throwing BKB up gets a Kona Tiny. Doppelganger used though, and Phantom Lancer finishes the job. Zeus, he is out of mana now, so he's basically useless. He gets killed as a result, and that's one of those you almost don't want to kill him right there, because now they give him full mana to work with. However, he will not stick around. Drow staying down for 150 seconds. Oh, the Ancient almost dead, by the way. Yeah, they have to defend that. So maybe he's trying to play distraction, if anything, but they will not get the kill on the Ancient just yet. As Zeus decided to fall back right there. Man, he could have almost actually fought them to distract them, if anything. And maybe buy enough time, but that's kind of a hindsight deal. Right there. That was quite the chase from the Dire side. But it almost worked out for them in the long run. I mean, it kind of did in the sense that this game is still alive. But if they kill the Zeus there as well, they could have really maybe made a play right here, send perhaps a Phantom Lancer to the bottom lane to finish the job down here and get Megas versus Megas. Courage going to pick up something. Viper's 7,600 gold. I mean, the idea of a Divine Rapier is definitely something that... very possible. Oh, is Zeus going to pick up the Courier? Yep. Trying to.
Dire's courier has been
Man, they are lucky that no one bought anything on that. If somebody buys something on that and it dies right there, that would have really sucked. But at what cost? Honestly, I would...
Favcaster less than 3.
What? Neonomot! Holy shit, man! Thanks so much. Wow! Sorry, I got distracted right there. I'm sure you can tell. Thank you so much, man, for the $100 donation. You did not need to do that. Your favorite cat's awesome, man. Really appreciate that, man. Seen you around quite a bit, and thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. That just, that's quite the distraction right there. Jesus. Thanks a bunch, man. That means a lot. Thanks for the support, dude. Anyway, back to this game here. Not to act like I'm ignoring that, but again, we very likely could be finished here soon, so sorry. Yeah. But thank you so much, Neonomot. Right there. All right, double damage rune spawning, though. We got... Remember, it does spawn at both locations. I've been doing that since the 40-minute mark here. In the recent patch, that was 7.06, I want to say.
Double
Zeus almost has that BKB finished. Yeah, Pudge right here. 4,500 gold even saved up. Buyback situation, Drow is just about up. So really everyone that's necessary has a buyback. Only the supports on either side don't, which again isn't really that big of a deal. Going for a hook. Hail Mary. Gonna miss right there. Oh, Temped's just like, screw this, I want to go. Oh, man, he's going for the kill. Temped's like, I'm ready to finish this game right here, right now, baby. They cannot stop it. Finally going to be tossed out, and he gets killed. As a result, the Nemesis down on several heroes, though. They do kill it off, though. Phantom Lancer doing a good job with that. Viper, however, the Blade Mail ends up killing him. He buys back immediately. Drow also buys back immediately. And look at Spear Pricker going right for the Ancient, trying to finish the game right here, right now as well. One more attack. He gets the kill. The Ancient goes down, and the Radiant is victorious in the end. It felt like a matter of time, but boy, was it still epic with the finish. The decision to just go full YOLO right there at the very end ends up working out for the Radiant side. So congratulations on their victory as they take it. Again, action-packed game from the beginning. They were literally down 20,000 plus experience for so much of that game, and they still win it in the end. So well played on their part. And you know what? Again, I was curious about this to see the damage at the end. 106,000 damage by Zeus. The next closest was Tiny, actually, at 64,000. And his teammate, even Phantom Lancer, at 61,000, but 106,000 damage in a 73-minute game. That is impressive. You do see the net worth, though. I mean, this is the losing team's net worth. I remind you, the Radiant won this game, and yet this is the net worth chart up until the actual end of the game. This is insane. This shouldn't happen. How does a team that never had the net worth lead past 25 minutes win a game in 75 minutes? That's crazy to me. Well, it is what it is. Well played by the Radiant side. And they get the Ancient killed, and that's got to be one of those feel-good victories for sure. So that's going to do it for this cast meet, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. Definitely a lot of fun. Shout out to Temped for submitting that one. I guess I'm sure you can figure it's probably one of the guys on the Radiant side, and you had Temped the one to do so. So really do appreciate that, and thanks again for the support. As far as the cast meet goes, guys, if you don't know what it is, well, you can watch this commercial and get a little more information. Hey guys, Breaky CPK here, and I'm excited to announce my new service I'm offering called Cast Me. Have you ever wanted to have a hype caster cast one of your games, however haven't had the opportunity? Or how about you were just looking for ways to get your team more exposure with a professional feeling broadcast to help? Well, now is your chance, as I will cast a select match of yours, either replay or live, for each of the following games. Dota 2, possibly BKB, but of course that's going to be wearing off. There's one Ravage. Remember, has a second one. Two still used. Throw Spear flies back in the background. They catch Sven actually at Half-Life. Sven is going to drop right there. The Sunder not even used actually by Monkeys Forever here on the Terrorblade. That Metamorphosis, they do kill the melee racks, but at what cost there? CSGO. Peeking. Flame is down. They're right on top of him. He jumped on top. Twist goes down. Lekro gets that kill on a Weber, but Lekro will fall to toss in. And of course, Han. The Dead would jump on a Behemoth. The Shockwave still goes off to the Eruption, but he's still alive. Earth Shatter, meanwhile, is up from Parallax. He does get caught in the Arcane Vortex, though, from Moira. Andromeda will go down. You do see Oki. For prices and more information, just check out the website, thegoodgeekwife.com, and go to the Breaky CPK Cast Me page, or just click on the link provided. All right. So there you go. There you go. Or you can go to